to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hello and welcome to episode 63. I am Mosh, and boy, oh boy, is the world in a very interesting place right now. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about the coronavirus, and I was like, what are they going to do? Cancel everything? Well, yeah, apparently so. I've never seen anything like this before. Like, pretty much everything is canceled or postponed, especially sports, which hits me right in the gut because that's all I watch on TV. So now I have nothing to watch. There's no reason to watch TV right now. Originally, NBA said that they were going to go on hiatus for a month, and then the NHL followed right behind them. I figured hockey was also a month since a lot of hockey teams and basketball teams share the same arenas. And then baseball was like, spring training is done. The season is delayed by 2 weeks. And that has since changed because the CDC was like, hey, effective immediately, any events that have 50 or more people should be postponed or canceled for 8 weeks, which is 2 months. So now all that is postponed by at least 2 months. It could be longer. I heard the NBA might go on hiatus for 3 months, and I'm just at a loss. What am I supposed to do without sports? College tournaments are canceled. And baseball is just going to pick up where they would in the schedule. Like, they're not going to make up those lost games. It's just going to be a shorter season. As far as basketball and hockey go, I don't know. I guess just start the playoffs, depending on when they come back. Which isn't really fair because there were teams fighting for playoff spots who were really close, and then to just not include them, I don't know. There was one basketball player that suggested a good idea that I would actually back, and he basically just said, when basketball returns, and maybe even hockey, just do like a March Madness style tournament bracket, and every team is in it, and you just go each round at a time until you have a winner. One of the things that worries me about the baseball, though, is because if you don't know about spring training, it takes place in 2 states. The National League teams play their games in Arizona, and the American League teams play in Florida. So there are a lot of people here right now who are not from here that might be bringing this little virus along with them. And one thing I saw brought up after the NBA season was postponed was a thing about Space Jam. And in the movie, the NBA season gets canceled because of an outbreak. And not only that, but Space Jam came to home video on March 11th, which is the same day this year that the NBA was canceled or postponed. What are the odds of that happening? That's some weird stuff right there. What if certain people have known about this virus for a while, like since last year? Sony was out here pulling out of events before it was the cool thing to do. Maybe they knew. The singer of Ghost last year said they weren't going to tour this year. He's also a Freemason, which don't they have like connections to the Illuminati if you believe in that stuff? Maybe he knew. Ghost's last album was about the plague and killing people. Maybe he knew. I've also decided to postpone my birthday because it is this month, and with everything going on, it's just not fair. So I will be rescheduling it. I'm thinking maybe October, Halloween. I think having a Halloween birthday would be pretty cool. So from now on, I am born on Halloween. And one thing I totally didn't realize could happen, but did happen, is that movies are getting delayed as well. Because if nobody goes to movie theaters or movie theaters shut down, then, these big blockbuster movies aren't going to make the money that they need to make back. The new Fast and Furious movie got delayed a whole year. I don't see this happening to video games, since you can buy video games digitally, so that's not an issue. You don't have to leave your home to get them, unless you buy them physically, which I do, which is a problem. Final Fantasy VII Remake right around the corner. I have a physical copy pre-ordered, and that's what I'm going to go get. I have to have the physical copy. I still have my original physical copy of Final Fantasy VII from when I was a kid, so I want the physical copy of the remake, so I can have them together. Then and now, together in 2020, so I'm going to risk my life to go to the store and get that game on April 10th. Shout out to all the people going to pick up Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal in a few days. Good luck out there. E3 was canceled. It's not happening, so whatever. The one good thing about that is companies, I guess, can just announce things whenever they want. They don't have to wait for E3. That's one positive to take away from that. People are also going nuts right now, stocking up on toilet. Why? I don't understand the toilet paper thing. Like, if people are being told to stay home and quarantine for like 2 weeks or whatever, you don't need that much toilet paper. How often are you pooping? I poop like once every other day. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but, I'm not flying through toilet paper. And there are other methods of cleaning your butt. If you do not have toilet paper, you can use a tissue. You can use a paper towel. You can use wet wipes. You can use baby wipes. You can get a bidet. You could also take a shower. And if for some reason none of those are available, you could just have someone lick it. I don't recommend it, but someone could. Just saying there are other options out there. And the problem with these idiots is that they are buying multiple items that they just don't need. If everyone just shopped regularly, everyone would get the items they want, like we've been doing in life for years, and everyone would be happy. There wouldn't be issues. There wouldn't be shortages. But people have to panic buy because they think this is an apocalypse and the world's about to end, and then it ruins it for other people. We could be nice and civil to our other human beings and maybe let people with, kids or young kids get their stuff first, so that one girl that buys Starbucks every day and drives a Range Rover with Gucci boots doesn't hog up on toilet paper. I saw a video of one dude get stabbed over water. Really? We're gonna start stabbing people over water? Water stores exist, right? Stores that are based around water. They're very small, but they're out there. You go in and you can just buy water from them, or you can take in your own jugs, a gallon, those like big 3-gallon jugs, whatever you want, and you get them filled up. It's like 30 to 50 cents a gallon depending on the place, which is probably cheaper than a normal store. So you get more water for cheaper, and you're actually going to get the water because the store is about water, and then you're not stabbing people. So let's be smart and not stupid. That'd be cool. You don't need to be arrested for attempted murder over some Dasani water. Okay? It doesn't look good. And also, if you're super low on water and you got some extra money laying around, what you could do is invest in a refrigerator that has the water and ice cubes on the door, and then you have an unlimited supply of water. St. Patrick's Day is on Tuesday. You're probably going to have idiots out at the bar. Actually, the bars will probably be closed. Or they better be closed. Just don't go out. If you don't need to go out, don't go out. Like, I understand if you have a job you absolutely have to go to because they're not letting you work from home, or you just can't do it from home, or you have to go to school because it hasn't been postponed yet, or you have to go to the grocery store because you need food, you're running low, then yes, go out. But other than that, stay home, because you're ruining this for everybody else. The more people that contract this virus, the worse it gets. All these postponements will last longer, shortages will increase, quarantine time will increase. Just stay home. Even if you don't have symptoms, stay home. There have been a lot of people that have tested positive that haven't even shown symptoms of it. You will live. You don't have to go to a movie theater right now. You don't have to go to a restaurant. You don't have to go to the mall. You don't have to go play mini golf. Just stay home. Again, unless you absolutely have to leave, then do so. But just stay home. Alright, that's probably enough of that. So let's move on to gaming, which is mostly just rumors this week. Let's talk about Silent Hill. So this is from RelyOnHorror.com, and they apparently have sources that are saying PlayStation and Konami are working together on some Silent Hill stuff. So I'm just going to read what they said. We have a trusted source regarding this news, and another source has corroborated with us that Masahiro Ito, creature designer for the first 4 titles in the series, is indeed working on a Silent Hill game as previously speculated. These same sources name Sony as the driving force behind bringing the series back, most likely a PS5 exclusive. Our first source, who we've come to trust very well, indicates that Kiichiro Toyama, director and writer of the original Silent Hill, and Akira Yamaoka, composer for the majority of the franchise, are also returning alongside Masahiro Ito. Also, I'm probably butchering their names, and I apologize. The trio will helm a soft reboot of the Silent Hill series, possibly just called Silent Hill. Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan Studio, which possibly includes team members from Project Siren, the group behind Siren Blood Curse for PS3, will be behind its development in some capacity. Our sources state that this title has been in the works for about a year. Our second source, which has no connection to the first source, was aware of Ito's involvement in the new Silent Hill title and informed us of that information some time ago. The second Silent Hill title referenced in previous rumors is still being worked out at the moment, but it is looking as if it very well could be Silent Hills, Kojima's famously cancelled title. According to our first source, Sony is working to patch up the relationship between Kojima and Konami in order to resurrect the game due to the amount of buzz and continued demand for it 5 years after its cancellation. Our second source shared this same information with us in the past. We can now report on it with some confidence in its legitimacy. Source number 1 goes on to say that the game will even make use of the next-gen PlayStation VR for PS5. Allegedly, Sony has pitched the game to Kojima as a title more akin to a Telltale supermassive narrative-driven title, which would offer him full creative freedom. Our source does emphasize, however, that Silent Hills is not yet a done deal, and that for now the only game in active development is the reboot from SIE Japan Studio. While Sony is pushing for the series comeback, our sources do not say that they're out to own the Silent Hill IP. Sony and Konami are working together on these titles. So if that is true, it just sounds like Sony and Konami are going to crack a deal. Sony funds Silent Hill, Konami allows them to make it an exclusive to PlayStation, and that's that. But adding on to that, there are more rumors surrounding Sony and Konami. This is from someone else who claims to be a Konami employee, which I'm just going to say right now, I don't believe this. What I just read previously, okay, I can believe that. What I'm about to read, I don't really believe, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So this person has popped up on 4chan, which is a very strange site. Apparently, I don't go on there, but some rumors on this site have come true. Take that however you will. Anyway, this is basically what they said. Hello, I am an employee from Konami. Sorry for my bad English. I heard that Sony wants to buy franchises such as Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania. See, so what I previously read is that Sony doesn't want to buy Silent Hill. They just want to work with Konami. And now this person is saying that Sony does want to buy it. We're getting two different things here. And also anyone on the internet can just lie. He says he's an employee for Konami. Cool. And I'm the president of PlayStation. That was easy. They then say they want to remake Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Kojima is involved. PS5 exclusive. Now it says Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2, which is not Metal Gear Solid 1 and not Metal Gear Solid 2, as these are all different games. I'm pretty sure the order is Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. I think that's the order in which they came out. So remaking Metal Gear, not Metal Gear Solid. They then go on to say all the Silent Hill stuff that I just read. And then lastly, Castlevania, full reboot, very Bloodborne style, PS5 exclusive. Which is funny, because a couple of weeks ago on my stream, Booty God and I were talking about Castlevania, because he asked me what I thought about the games, or if I played them, or something. And I said, no, I haven't played them, because the whole style, like the 2D, Metroidvania, side-scrolling, like those games just don't do it for me. And I said to him, if they made a new one similar to Bloodborne, I would totally be into that. And then now you have this person saying Castlevania reboot in the style of Bloodborne. If this person's telling the truth, obviously. That would be pretty cool, though. I'll believe it when I see it. I still think the Silent Hill stuff is the only believable thing out of this. Oh, but the rumors don't stop there. We are moving on from Konami and Sony to Activision. This is coming from a person who has previously leaked things and has been accurate. Person accurately leaked Call of Duty Warzone days before it was revealed or any information was given out. Like, everything they said was 100% accurate. They go on to say that there will be a Tony Hawk Pro Skater remaster, Modern Warfare 2 remastered, another free-to-play Call of Duty game from Sledgehammer coming next year, a PvP Crash Bandicoot game, and a remaster of Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. They also go on to say that there's a new game in the works to replace Destiny. So talking about Tony Hawk real quick, a band made a post the other day saying that they got 5 songs licensed to be in the new Tony Hawk 2020 game. So going off what this person said and what that band accidentally said, it's looking pretty likely that Tony Hawk is returning in one way or another. I don't know what the remastered is. Are we talking 1, 2, 3, a combination, underground? I mean, there's a lot they can do. Just remaster the good games, okay? Or they could just make like one big Tony Hawk game. Like you take all the elements from the good games and the levels and just put them into one. I mean, the games pretty much all played the same up until about, was it Project 8? When you could like use the analog sticks to kind of switch up your tricks a little bit more. But up until that point, they like all played the same. So why not just have one big Tony Hawk game and just put it in the best levels? So that is looking pretty likely. There is a new Call of Duty game coming out this year. This person says Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is happening. Another person also said Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is happening this year. Like the Call of Duty game coming out later this year is Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Which is weird because during their earnings call or investors call, whatever that was a couple weeks ago, Activision did not say who was making this year's Call of Duty, which they do every year. Because this year's Call of Duty was originally supposed to be made by Sledgehammer, and then that whole thing went down, and it was thrown into Treyarch's lap. But it was rumored to be a Black Ops game, so is Treyarch still doing that, and they're going to release that next year? I have no idea what's happening. Is that still happening this year? Are we getting like a Black Ops remastered and Modern Warfare 2 remastered? Or a Black Ops reboot, soft reboot, whatever people call it? I don't know what's going on with Call of Duty anymore. Is the free-to-play COD game from next year from Sledgehammer another Battle Royale? Like, what else could that be? I don't even know. The PvP Crash game could be Crash Bash, and then The Wrath of Cortex remastered is pretty self-explanatory. So that is it for the rumors. A lot to be excited about if any of that comes true. Alright, it's that time of the month. It's time for the best-selling games of the previous month. This time for February 2020. Number 20, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Number 19, Need for Speed Heat. Number 18, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Number 17, FIFA 20. Number 16, Just Dance 2020. Number 15, Pokemon Sword. Number 14, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 13, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 12, Luigi's Mansion 3. Number 11, Minecraft. Number 10, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Number 9, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 8, Madden NFL 20. Number 7, Ring Fit Adventure. 6, Mario Kart 8. 5, Tom Clancy's The Division 2. 4, Dragon Ball Z Carrot. 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. 2, NBA 2K20. And back to the number 1 spot, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Alright, time to move on to the PS5 specs. So this presentation was supposed to happen at GDC, but since GDC was canceled, they just did their own presentation. A lot of people thought it was boring, kinda was. This isn't meant for casual people, or normal people for that matter. It's like numbers and everything that game developers understand, because they're supposed to be presented at the Game Developers Conference. And to all the people that are mad that they did not reveal the console or anything else, I don't know why you'd be mad, because they said they were revealing the specs. So if you know how to read, then you would know that that's what they were going to do. So since I do know how to read, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. This presentation from Mark Cerny, the lead system architect for PS5, dives deep into the hardware, systems architecture, and how we design PS5 to benefit developers and the games they create. As Mark discussed in his presentation, PS5's ultra-high-speed SSD and integrated custom I/O system were developed with the goal of removing barriers to play, specifically long loading screens. Developers are able to stream assets into PS5 games at an incredibly fast rate, so PS5 play experiences can be seamless and dynamic with near instantaneous fast travel through large game worlds. This enhanced speed will enable game developers to create larger, richer worlds without traditional limitations such as load times, and also allows gamers to spend more time gaming than waiting. We also wanted to introduce new capabilities with PS5's custom GPU. Additional GPU power will allow for higher resolution in games, but a major new feature that benefits the visual of the games even further is ray tracing. Ray tracing simulates the way light moves in real life and how it bounces off various surfaces. Games that take advantage of this feature will render objects much more accurately and with heightened realism. Water, glass, light refraction, and a character's hair will look even more realistic. PS5 will also allow games to offer a much deeper sense of immersion through 3D audio. Visuals are, of course, imperative to the gaming experience, but we believe audio plays a crucial role as well. We wanted to deliver a compelling audio experience for all users, not just those who own high-end speaker systems. We designed and built a custom engine for 3D audio that is equipped with the power and efficiency for ideal audio rendering. With 3D audio on PS5, the sounds you hear while playing will offer a greater sense of presence and locality. You will be able to hear raindrops hitting different surfaces all around you, and you can hear and precisely locate where an enemy is lurking behind you. Lastly, we're excited to confirm that backwards compatibility features are working well. We recently took a look at the top 100 PS4 titles as ranked by playtime, and we are expecting almost all of them to be playable at launch on PS5. With more than 4,000 games published on PS4, we will continue the testing process and expand backwards compatibility coverage over time. So yeah, they briefly talked about backwards compatibility with PS4 games, 100 at launch, the 100 most played, and then they're going to try to get the other games working over time. I hope they are just purposely leaving things out, and that PS5 will be backwards compatible with other PlayStations as well, but, not too impressed with this right now. Apparently the PS5 is so fast that some of the PS4 games just can't handle it, so they have to go back and make some tweaks so that they do work on PS5. So let's look at these numbers that people think they understand that they don't understand. The CPU, x86-64 AMD Ryzen Zen 2, 8 cores, 16 threads, variable frequency up to 3.5 GHz. GPU, AMD Radeon RDNA 2 based graphics engine, ray tracing acceleration, variable frequency up to 2.23 GHz or 10.3 teraflops. System memory, GDDR6 16 GB, 448 GB a second bandwidth. SSD, 825 GB, 5.5 GB a second read bandwidth raw. The disc itself, Ultra HD Blu-ray up to 100 GB on a disc. Supports 4K 120Hz TVs, 8K TVs, VRR specified by HDMI version 2.1, and Tempest 3D audio tag. So the PS5 is supposed to be really fast, super fast. But people are focusing on the teraflops, which nobody even knows what a teraflop is. I dare anyone to tell me what a teraflop is without Googling it. Guess what? You can't. And I'm going to read a tweet from a veteran in the industry, which says, as a 15-year-plus games programmer with 24 AAA titles released on every Nintendo, Microsoft, and PlayStation machine under the sun, neither I nor anyone else in my field has ever used teraflop as a unit of measurement of any kind. Just drop the word. It's utterly meaningless. If you care about specs so much, you could also just build a custom PC and have whatever specs you want. So the backwards compatibility is a little disappointing right now, unless, again, they're hiding something. Obviously, they haven't, revealed every single thing. The solid state drive not being 1 terabyte, also a little disappointing. So 825, that's kind of a weird number. But that just means instead of having 3 games installed, I can now have 5 games installed. So, it's a positive. And of course, I'm still going to buy this bad boy because it's going to have the games. Better games than those other jabronis. Alright, let's move on to music. So, like I said last week, Dead would be releasing 2 brand spanking new songs, and that is exactly what they did. Eyes Sewn Shut and A Mannequin Idol. Both pretty good. I've already heard them before, so it wasn't a surprise to me, but they're still good nonetheless. I enjoy them. I'm happy. My one worry, though, is that the producer of this album is also the producer of Five Finger Death Punch. And if he makes this guy go down that path, I am not going to be very happy. I'll put links to both songs in the description. And then moving on to Fit for a King, also releasing a brand new song called Breaking the Mirror. It's pretty good. It's pretty standard stuff. Nothing too crazy. Nothing unique, really, musically or lyrically. Like, the lyrics, I mean, you've heard it a million times. It's just like positive, motivational stuff, which is fine. I'm pretty sure they're a Christian band. They're on a Christian label, so I'm just going to assume that they're a Christian band as well. They've been playing another new song live, though, called God of Fire, which features Rio from Crystal Lake and Good God. I can't wait to hear the studio version of that. You can also just tell that Rio loves what he does. Just his stage presence and excitement. That is a man that loves his job, and he should, because he's really good at it. Kind of an underrated vocalist, if you ask me. And I have high expectations, because the last Fit for a King album, that's a 10 out of 10. So I'm expecting a lot from the new album. The last Dead album, it's a 10 out of 10. So I'm expecting a lot from the new album. A few weeks ago when Trivium released their new song, which I think they're releasing another one pretty soon, like in the next week or two. But their last album, 10 out of 10. If Ghost does release their new album this year or next year, whenever it may be, their last album is 10 out of 10. There are a lot of bands releasing albums this year who had previous albums that were top tier. That's what I'm saying. Whichever album gets album of the year for me this year is like, it's an 11 out of 10 at least. But now it is time to move on to Ocean Grove. Ocean Grove released their second full-length album, Flip Phone Fantasy, on March 13th, 2020. They are an Australian band that formed in 2010. Their genre, a lot of different things. Their genre is Oddworld, the Oddworld genre. The current lineup consists of Dale Tanner on lead vocals, Matthew Henley on guitar, Sam Basil or Basal, I don't know how to say his last name, I apologize, on drums, Twiggy Hunter on bass, and Running Touch behind the scenes. Let's just jump right into this. So the very first song is called Superstar, and it starts with the flip phone ringing, and then the fantasy begins. Sounds a lot like a late 90s or an early 2000s type of song, which is pretty much what this album is. It definitely sounds like it's from that time period. And these guys are able to sound nostalgic while being modern, which is a crazy thing to be able to pull off, but hey, they do it. And then this song leads right into the next song, which is Neo, which Twiggy sings on. Then you have another song called Sense Again, and when I first heard the chorus of this song, it reminded me of Puddle of Mud, but better. Trust me, Ocean Grove is much better than Puddle of Mud. This whole album feels like a summertime album. It just, like, instrumentally, it just has that sound to it. And that's perfect timing because we'll be entering summer here in the coming months. So it's nice to have this album out before that happens. And then speaking of summer, you have a song called Sunny, which is another one that has kind of that summer feel to it, which I would hope so by the name of the song. You got another track called 1,000 Golden People, which Dale kind of shows off his vocals a little bit. I'm into it. He kind of raps the verses as well. And that's one thing you can always expect from these dudes is a great chorus. Like, they know how to write a chorus. They definitely know what they're doing, and this is one of the best songs on the album. You have Guys from the Gourd. This song I tweeted to the Cyberpunk Twitter, and I said, you need to put this song in your game. It's very experimental sounding. I saw some people comparing it to The Prodigy, which I can't really confirm nor deny because I don't listen to The Prodigy. But hey, if that's what a lot of people are saying, then sure. The best line lyrically is in this song, where Dale says, all I need for this lifetime is 2 heartbeats and a bass line. Very good stuff. And my only real complaint is that the song is too short. After that, you have Shimmer. Now, in my opinion, this could be the big hit on this album. It makes you feel things. Like when I first heard it, I almost got a little teary-eyed because, I don't know, it just kind of hits you in a way. It's kind of like a positive love song, sort of. Like, this is a song you send to someone else or you dedicate it to someone else. And again, with like that summer sound, the instruments, especially right at the beginning, I mean, the way the song kicks off, it's like, oh, like you immediately think of summer. And this is probably my favorite song off the whole album. And just some of the lyrics. I've been thinking about the last time hearing of your past life following you. A softer center than the outside, hurting deeper down like nobody knew. I could see the way you ache, that where you hurt's a sacred place. I want to hold you so you don't give up and run away. You're stronger than me. You're stronger than you think you are. Some good stuff right there. Next song is called Baby Cobra. This song does not tickle my fancy. I appreciate what they're trying to do. It's definitely a different sound for these guys. It just didn't do anything for me, that's all. Like, I don't hate the song. If it comes on, I'll listen to it. I'm not going to skip it or anything. But there's also not a song that I'm going to have on repeat, or I'm going to sit there and think, you know what? I want to listen to Baby Cobra right now. Next up, you have Ask for the Anthem. Just ask for it. That's all you need to know. Junkies. Junkies is kind of like 1,000 Golden People. So if you like that song, you'll like this song. If you like this song, you'll like that song. Last song is called Freaks. Starts off slow, and then it kicks in at about 1 minute and 42 seconds in. It's a pretty nice song to round out the whole album. I have no idea what Dale's talking about, because I don't really understand the lyrics of this band. I never know what they're talking about. Except for some songs like Superstar, Shimmer, 1,000 Golden People. Like, I can understand those songs. But for most of their songs, even their previous stuff, like, I don't know what they're talking about. Their lyrics can definitely be interesting. So with all that said, I will give this album an easy 9 out of 10. Like I've already mentioned before, it has that summer feel to it. It has a nostalgic sound for being an album released in 2020. Not many bands can pull that off, but these guys do. They're like the masters of it. They have it dialed in. It's a fun album to listen to. I had very high expectations. My expectations were met. I'm happy. I am pleased. I'm a big fan of this band. I enjoy everything they've put out. Whether it's the heavier stuff, it hits the right spot. The mellow stuff hits the right spot. The experimental stuff hits the right spot. Like, these guys just understand my musical taste, or we have very similar musical tastes. But yeah, everything they've done, I'm into it. And because of that, I'm really excited to see what the future holds for them, where they go. Ocean Grove is easily one of the most underrated bands in the world right now. And I really hope an album like this gets them the recognition they deserve and helps grow their fan base, because they just deserve to be a bigger band. They have the talent, so more people need to know about it. Also, if they could restock some of their shirts. They have 2 shirts that say Oddworld on them, a white one and a black one, and both of them are sold out in mediums. So if we can get the mediums back in stock, I would appreciate that. Anyway, Flip Phone Fantasy, Ocean Grove, 9 out of 10. Check it out. Link in the description. Alright, now it's time for the weekly pick of the week. So my pick is going to be Superhuman, which a lot of people have talked about before. He is a YouTube stuntman? I don't know. He's a huge wrestling fan, and he basically destroys his body for entertainment, and it's great. He'll like jump off things and elbow drop microwaves, buster some bricks and barbed wire, jump onto light tubes, whatever he just feels like doing. And I don't think his channel is monetized either. Either that or his videos are just too short to monetize, because there's never ads on them. So he's pretty much doing this for free. He does sell merch though, so I guess he gets some merch money. But yeah, if you want to see some dude just destroy himself for YouTube, I'll put a link in the description. Superhuman, with 2 M's. He's also a juggalo. He does it for all his juggalos and juggalettes. And you just gotta respect it. You really do. I'm not a juggalo, because I don't listen to any of that music, but I would definitely go to the gathering of the juggalos. I think that would be very entertaining, just to see all that in person. What's wrong with waking up in someone else's tent with a syringe sticking out of your arm? You know what I mean? You just gotta live a little. Now on to my weird story of the week. A woman has been diagnosed with a never-before-seen condition after doctors discovered she was urinating alcohol without ever drinking any. The unnamed patient, 61 years old, has become the first person in the world to be diagnosed with urinary autobrewery syndrome, caused by yeast in her bladder that ferments sugar in her urine to produce alcohol. The process is almost exactly the same one used by beer makers, but it was happening in her own body. At first, medics suspected she may have been hiding an alcohol addiction when urine tests for the drug were repeatedly positive. She was taken off a liver transplant waiting list and referred for alcohol abuse treatment instead, despite denying ever drinking alcohol. Further blood tests from metabolites of ethanol were negative, meaning the woman did not have alcohol in her blood. Specialists instead found high levels of Candida glabrata, a yeast naturally produced by the body, were accumulating in her bladder when she ingested sugar. The yeast is similar to Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Can we just have normal words? A fungus known as brewer's yeast because it's used by beer makers to convert carbohydrates in grains into alcohol. Tests showed this conversion process was taking place inside her bladder. Doctors are being told to be aware of this urinary autobrewery syndrome so that they do not wrongly label patients as alcoholics. So yeah, that's a thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and end this right here. So thank you for listening. Links in the description for Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. Links in the description for Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. Links in the description for all the music I mentioned. That's about it for me. So as always, I will talk to you next week. Later.